In a world where Kawhi Leonard is no longer on the Spurs and Chase has a few more Tinder matches.
I do.
We're back, baby. We're
it's
back.
an amazing world. Everything's going great.
Pointless Sports Opinions, I'm here. Caleb. Chase is here. LB's over on the computer. Joe's
hard.
here. Tyler Scott's here.
Food.
Nick's here. Joe, those Cheetos better not make a damn sound.
We're gonna
What are we
ass.
talking about today, Chase?
This is the biggest podcast we've ever had, ladies and gentlemen. The top 20 players in the league right now. I'm shaking.
We pulled quite a few of you in for this.
Oh yeah, we
guys
did.
all
we
have
got
input.
a lot of fans involved. My hands are all clammy. I'm so nervous.
We spent countless hours making our own top 20 lists as well as
my wife divorced me because I spent less time with her. That's how many hours I spent doing this.
As well as we had a bunch of lists from the public and we combined them all into one to make
I'm really curious to see
list.
that.
Chase hasn't seen it. I put it together. I didn't let him see it. So, all right, we're going to start with some honorable mentions. You want to kick yours off?
Start with honorable mentions? Okay.
Chase said, I got 5 honorable mentions. I said, I got way more than that.
Caleb thinks every player in the league right now should be in the top 20.
All right, go ahead, rip it.
All right, I had Oladipo, Porzingis, DeRozan, John Wall, and Rudy Gobert were my honorable mentions for not making the top 20.
All right, so mine, I'll just run through them pretty quick. I had Porzingis. I had Brad Beal.
Joe's just trolling us in the chat.
I had Porzingis. I had Brad Beal. I had Al Horford.
Oh.
Average Al. I had Jason Tatum. I had Donovan Mitchell. I had Devin Booker.
Donovan Mitchell didn't make your top 20?
No.
Ooh, wow. I'm really curious now.
It's tough. It's an impossible list.
It's so tough.
It's an impossible list, bro. Devin Booker didn't make mine. Gordon Hayward, Johnny Wall, Rudy Gobert, and DeMarcus Cousins. Guys that were hardest to leave off, Brad Beal.
Brad Beal was so hard. When I said I was changing somebody, that's who I changed.
He's just freaking good, man.
So good.
He's just good.
I'd build a team around. I'd trade John Wall in a heartbeat.
We're talking like this dude can score 25 a game.
He's a good kid too. Good leader, and he increases your team value.
He's like Klay Thompson, except without all the accolades.
Yeah. Undervalued Klay Thompson.
Donovan Mitchell. We'll see.
Young.
Yeah, super young. We'll see how much he progresses this year. That dude he's a baller, man. He's going to move his way quickly up this list and maybe hit near the top 10 in the next 5 years.
Easily.
Gordon Hayward, we have no idea. He's probably a top 20 player at his best, but we don't know what's going to happen.
Injuries, man.
Devin Booker, still super young, hasn't really done anything, can't really do anything because he's on the Suns.
Devin Booker's always
he's going to pour in 25 game too, and apparently he's going to make the playoffs this year, according to you.
Yeah, hopefully.
Nikola Jokic, it's a fan favorite of the public.
I didn't even put him on my honorable
Actually, I shouldn't say that because I don't know if he made the consensus list, but he was on a lot of people's lists.
He was on a lot. Yeah, I did see.
He did not make the consensus list.
Oh, really? He was a top 10 on somebody's list.
Yeah, that was Pagel, I think.
Yeah.
But
Pagel likes him.
Jokic, I like him a lot. I don't know what your ceiling as a team can be with Jokic, though.
If he's your best player,
I don't think you're doing much.
No, it's low. It's hella low.
I don't think you're doing much. Yeah, I guess that's about it for my honorable mentions. All right, so how do you want to do your name, my name, and then the consensus list?
That's fine.
Okay. So I already said mine, so I'll go ahead and go. My 20 is DeMar DeRozan.
Just snuck in
I had to get him in. I took Boogie off at the last second. Yeah, DeMar DeRozan. I just think he's really good. He can't shoot. I'm a guy that you got to be able to shoot. Like it's 2018, you got to be able to shoot, and I think
he's not very clutch either in the playoffs, man.
I don't know about that.
He crippled, man. He crippled in the playoffs. Every time they play the Cavs.
All right, sorry. Okay, DeMar DeRozan. We're good now.
Okay.
I think he's going to thrive in San Antonio. I think Pop's going to love that guy.
I love that pickup.
He's already hooping in the Drew League with Rudy Gay.
He's already left on his contract too.
Yeah, he's already bonding with the team. I think him and the Spurs now have 2 All-NBA players.
He wants loyalty too? The Spurs, that's a team.
2 All-NBA players for the San Antonio Spurs. You think about that? LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan. Yeah, man. They made All-NBA last year. That's good, man. That's top 15 in the league.
Okay.
They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to be really good.
Oh, yeah. They'll make the playoffs.
They're going to be really good. I think DeMar's going to 20, 25 a game, and it's going to be
Just
easy
normal.
for him. It's going to be easy, man, and he's going to like it. I think he'll be there for the rest of his career if he can help it.
I hope so. Because he seems like a good. You don't get loyalty out of players very often anymore, and I don't blame him because the owners are
There's no
shipping you for
loyalty
nothing
in this game.
No,
There's really not.
but I mean, DeMar's he's a rare breed. He's an Anthony Davis type where he just wants to stay there for his whole entire career, and hopefully he can stay there in San Antonio. My 20, I had Paul George, all the way at 20.
Oh, yeah?
He was such a breakout star last year, and it sucked that I had to put him this low. But there's just that question mark of, is winning really that big of a deal to him? And how much does he impact teams? He went to OKC, and they won, 2 more games than they did this year?
Yeah.
And when he was with, who was he with? I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank.
Indiana.
Yeah, the Pacers.
Oh,
When he was
yeah.
with the Pacers, other than the couple runs with Roy Hibbert and George Hill, he wasn't that big of an impactful guy. What are you doing over here?
Just keep going.
So it sucked putting Paul George that low, especially since he got an All-NBA third team nod, didn't he? This year? Yeah.
Yeah.
And well deserved. And I if he does it again, I definitely put him higher up on the list. But I think for now, 20 is definitely good.
I would
for
like
Paul
to
George.
dispute that. I have Paul George substantially higher on my
A
list
lot of people did.
because wings win games in 2018, and
But
he's
Paul
one of
George hasn't proven that he's one of
well,
those.
he's with our favorite player, Russell Westbrook, and it's hard to play with him.
When he had the decision to leave, and he did.
Well, that's the thing. He can't be the best player on the team. He's not
Can't.
that good.
He's a B plus to B guy.
But what we're saying, he can be the best player on the team. He cannot be the best player on a championship team.
Yeah, 100%.
There's only about 7 guys that are that guy. So, I mean, what are we asking for here? If he's the second best player on your team is freaking good.
Well, he's the second best player in OKC, and that team's trash.
Russell Westbrook. It's his fault, bro. If he would have went to the Lakers, they're a title contender.
100%.
Like, they would put up a fight with the
100%.
Warriors just because they can guard.
That's where you kind of get into him. It might be a him problem.
I don't think it's a him
I
problem. I,
didn't
don't
drop
understand
him
why you're
on
saying
my
that.
list that he wanted to go and play with Russell Westbrook. It really did.
I don't know.
Because it makes me think that you don't care about winning that much, and you got a fat contract out of it. So I guess get as much money as you can.
All right, so your 20 was Paul George. Mine was DeMar DeRozan. The consensus 20 was, you got any guesses? It was actually a tie.
Who?
It was a tie between Johnny Wall and
I'm glad John Wall almost didn't make the list.
Ben Simmons.
What? Ben Simmons that low?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
John Wall and Ben Simmons.
You guys are stupid.
Well, some people didn't even rank him.
Can't shoot.
Ben Simmons?
Yeah.
Neither can DeMar DeRozan.
It's worse.
How is it worse? It's the same thing. They're both shit at shooting.
But
DeRozan can at least shoot.
they
A
tied.
good,
Good what?
for his standards, a good shooting season this year.
3-point shooting, shooting 32% is not good.
They tied. So John Wall came in at 20. Ben Simmons at 19. So my 19 was Victor Oladipo.
Oh, okay.
He didn't make yours, right?
No, he was in my honorable mentions.
I put him in over Oladipo originally because I think he just broke out in a very, very real way this year. And I think he's going to pour in 20 plus a game. And he's the best player on that team. Will they be a championship contender if he's the best player? No. They won't. But he's awesome. And
He's great. And he's
did
fun
he
to
make
watch.
All-NBA?
Maybe a third
He was
team?
a contender for All-NBA, and I think he's awesome, and he was
He's
a
an
first-time All-Star. He can play defense. He's one of the most explosive athletes in the league,
He is.
which cannot be underrated. He can play point, handle the ball or whatever you want to
Point
call
forward.
it. Yeah, whatever. Well, ball handler, I guess we call it in today's day and age.
Ball holder.
But Victor Oladipo, he became one of my favorite players to watch last year,
Oh, yeah.
and I don't know.
That Pacers team, man.
He's really good.
I'm excited to watch Indiana Pacers.
For a team that was counted out, supposed to be top 5 in the lottery, he just brought him back and they made the playoffs. So, Victor Oladipo, my 19.
My 19's Clay.
Clay? Okay.
Clay Thompson. I mean,
He's a hard guy to rank.
he was
is.
so hard to put
He's
on.
a hard guy.
Because his stats aren't that, they're not breaking. Like, he's not putting up Paul George stats or Karl Anthony Towns stats or, he doesn't do that. but his value to the team is so high, and he's such. If he was on any other team, this guy would be a 25 a game guy.
He almost already is, and he's on
yeah.
the best team in the league. And he's the perfect teammate. He is the perfect teammate. He doesn't care about his touches, and he plays defense, and he's the top 5 greatest shooter of all time.
Easy.
He's the
Other than
perfect
Steph
teammate.
Curry, when it comes to most threes made in a season, Klay Thompson beat Ray Allen as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just, you could literally put him onto any team in the league, and he's going to thrive.
And
it doesn't matter.
This is a big thing. Next season, it's a contract season.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson's going to go off, man.
Does he come back?
I think he's going to LA. I really do. I think this has been setting up for a while.
Maybe if they win another one.
He shot 44% from 3 last season. He almost made half the threes he chucked up. And he shoots a lot of threes.
Yeah, that's what he does,
insane.
man.
And that's why I had to put him on I had to find a way to fit him on here, so I put him 19.
So the consensus 19 we already said was Ben Simmons.
Yep.
How do we feel about that? You said low?
That's way too low.
Low
way
for Ben
too
Simmons?
Low. I mean, I get he doesn't have a shot, but when you talk about impacting games, and he's just getting better,
Some people didn't rank him.
He's young. I mean,
Rookie.
Just like a lot of people probably didn't rank Oladipo, and sometimes those Mitchell. Some guys have those breakout years.
Also, 35 players were ranked. 35 different players were ranked on these lists. That just says
There's
crazy
15
amount of talent
players
in the
that
league.
could have easily made the top 10.
The crazy amount of talent in the league. Who's your 18?
My 18's Jimmy Buckets.
Jimmy, oh my goodness.
I put him all the way down at 18. He's another guy in a contract year, so he's probably going to have a big season. His 3-point shot, it used to be you could just let him shoot threes and it'd be fine. Now it's he's got an average shot. You gotta defend him a little bit now.
Jimmy,
yeah, because his 3-point shot.
Three-pointer.
His 3-point shot used to be bad. He was in the high 20s.
He used to be bad. He used to average 5 a game.
And now and he's a great defender.
I think him and Paul George are almost carbon copies of each other.
That's why I put him so low on the top 20 list, right next to each other almost. He's really good at defense when it comes to guarding guards and small forwards.
Just like Paul George. They're both gonna pour it in the bucket, just like Paul George.
Jimmy Butler's probably going to go to New York and screw up his whole career, just like Paul George did when he went to OKC.
I don't know about that, but yeah,
I got
Jimmy Butler
at 18.
I had Draymond Green. Did you rank him?
I did.
Okay.
I ranked him.
You don't got to tell me. I had Draymond Green. He was a hard guy to rank as well, because I think he took a step down last year. I think he needs the fire in his game. He needs the emotion, and I think that's going to die down because they play so far into the season every year, and it's the same guys around him every year. Well, with Boogie, it might relight the flame, but
Boogie's
might fight.
gasoline for that fire, baby.
They might fight with each other, but he's just a hard guy to rank because he's not the stat sheet guy. He's
definitely not.
He's like an 8 guy. But talk about best defenders in the league, he's up there in every conversation.
It doesn't matter.
He's won Defensive Player of the Year. I think he's been a runner-up twice.
All defensive guy almost every year.
He's their best passer.
The Tony Allen of every position.
He's their best passer, and that's including a team with Steph Curry, top, probably the best point guard in the league, debatably. And he just fills it up, and he's the glue that holds that team together. Him and Klay.
He's pretty good.
Him and Klay. So that was my 18.
Stay tuned.
The consensus 18. It's your boy DeMar DeRozan.
DeRozan made it all the way up to 18?
Yeah, all the way up. What do you mean all the way up?
Yeah.
I had to put him in, dude. You have to. He's top 20.
Apparently the fans had to, too.
You gotta.
He's popular, I
The
guess.
young guys are going to hop him in a few years.
Oh, yeah.
They will. But
unless he could get a 3-point shot, then he could be top 10 in the league.
I just think
he's got D-Wade type skills at mid-range.
I think he's going to be freaking awesome in San Antonio. I really do.
He's working on an amazing system. He'll be interesting.
He's gonna send Pop out with flying colors.
Hopefully.
17. Who'd you got?
I picked Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
He's my 17. We just got a small sample size of what this kid is going to be. And this is his rookie season.
He's just going to get better.
And he got overshadowed.
He's going to get more efficient.
The sad thing is he got overshadowed by the whole Ben Simmons thing. Everybody talked more about Ben Simmons. If Ben Simmons wasn't in the league, Donovan Mitchell. Think about the year Malcolm Brogdon won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Like Donovan
He wouldn't have
Mitchell
finished
is,
top 5 last year.
he's
Malcolm
easily
Brogdon.
one of the top rookies that we've had in the past 4 or 5 seasons. Like he's such a good kid. Such a good kid. He showed leadership, which you don't see. He was the leader of the Utah Jazz, and that was a good
As
team.
a rookie.
As
and he
a
just
rookie.
poured it in.
That's such a good team.
So during that award show, I remember a tweet that I sent out during the beginning of the season. I was like, watch out for Donovan Mitchell as a dark horse rookie of the year. And I searched it and I found it. I was like, I'm gonna quote this and I'm gonna gas myself up when he wins rookie of the year, and then Ben Simmons won it.
I did the same thing on my Twitter, but I just deleted all the bad tweets before I got famous.
But yeah, Donovan Mitchell, man. I love Donovan Mitchell. He's one of my favorite players.
He's like Dwayne Wade with a 3.
He's awesome, man. He's
love him.
so good. And he's one of those ball handler guys, and he's gonna run the pick and roll. He's explosive. He won the dunk contest. Like
He's just
he made I think the most threes a rookie's ever made, something like
he's
that.
a 30-tool player.
He's awesome, man. He's so good. My 17, I had Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons had him pretty low. I feel like he got exposed a little bit in the playoffs.
1 point.
Yeah, all President Brad.
That's just Brad, man. That's just Brad.
He
Not
exemplified
T-shirt Brad,
his
which is a
mistakes.
great man,
Yeah,
but-
shout out to T-shirt Brad. We got the T-shirts rolling, man.
T-shirts, man.
We got the T-shirts rolling.
All right. Back to
Ben
President
Simmons.
Brad.
It's you kind of gotta find stuff to critique him about because he was just so good last year. He might already be a top 5 passer in the league. I don't even think it's that close. He's one of the best people with the ball in his hands. But it comes to a fact of what does he do without the ball in his hands? And if he ever had a guy like LeBron go there, which obviously didn't happen,
He could learn so much.
would he be useful without the ball? And
That's
I don't
also
know.
true.
I don't know. I don't know if he would. But the plus side of his game, one of the best point guards in the league, and he's 6'10".
That's a big plus right there.
Yeah, was one of the best defenders in the league. Almost made All NBA defense.
You can put him on anybody.
He's going to make. He guards point guards. Like the Sixers.
Easily.
The Sixers
Easily.
were crazy last year. It was like watching aliens in the playoffs. Like everybody's 12 feet long, and then there's JJ Redick.
Yeah.
And it's,
Everybody's 6'8" except for JJ Redick.
but yeah, it's Ben Simmons. It's hard to find stuff to knock him on besides like the playoffs and besides the whole no jumper thing, which I think guys like him can survive without it because they're just so good in every other area. And he's just going to find ways to score. He gets in the lane. He's got that little flip he does. He's going to get those post hooks down with both hands. So, Ben Simmons, 17. I think it's low, but 17. Consensus 17. Do you have any guesses? You already said them, I think.
No idea.
Klay Thompson.
Klay Thompson 17.
Klay Thompson,
like that.
17.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
I think that's right about. That doesn't surprise me. Let's just say that.
No.
It doesn't surprise me that the public was. It's hard to rank him.
It's hard
like
to
we
rank
talked
them.
about.
That's the last 10 guys on this list. It's hard to rank them.
All right, you go first with 16 because my 16 I have some.
My 16 was one of your honorable mentions.
Oh yeah,
It was DeMarcus Cousins.
DeMarcus Cousins.
I put him at 16.
I think that's about where I had him before I took him out. Because
about
Achilles injury,
Think about before the injury.
Yeah.
That's what I really looked into.
best debatably best.
And
center in the
remember
league.
what was going around? It was like DeMarcus Cousins is actually playing good on a good team. He's not a head case anymore. He's actually valuable to a team. Look at what he's doing out there. DeMarcus Cousins, he was averaging 25 and 13 before he went down. 25 and 13. You don't get that in the league anymore. This ain't Shaq. This is almost better than some of the years that Shaq had. Like DeMarcus Cousins dominates in the paint and he has a good 3-point shot.
Yeah, he's starting to put up the three even more.
I mean, I the only reason I put him this low is because of the injury. I mean, that injury's scary.
Yeah,
He's not going to play till second half or around.
He might not even play till March.
Yeah,
like if we're being real honest,
it's
like
gonna
it's an
be-
Achilles, and he's a 200 plus pound guy, and
Yeah.
he needs his Achilles tendon.
I had to put him that high up.
All right, so 16. I love DeMarcus Cousins, by the way. I love that guy. I might sound like a hypocrite because of the John Wall thing, but I might sound like a hypocrite because of the John Wall thing. But like his attitude isn't great all the time, and I don't know. I just like guys that play with emotion.
Put John Wall at 16?
No.
Okay, that's what I was about to say. Jesus.
I had him in my honorable mentions. Stupid John Wall. Get Johnny Wall out of here. But my 16, I had Karl Anthony Towns.
Okay.
I feel like he was the hardest player on this list to rank.
Really hard because you don't know his value yet.
I had a lot of trouble with him
He's a stat sheet stuffer, but that's
because
about it.
I'm thinking to myself, what has he done?
Other than stats,
Puts up numbers.
Russell Westbrook at center.
He barely made the playoffs. He hasn't done anything without Jimmy Butler. Let's just say that. He's done nothing. He was an all-star this year, but that's all he's got right now.
He was a 2010 guy.
Rookie of the
Jimmy.
year. Well, yeah, he puts up numbers.
Easy
What's
numbers.
the team do?
They were an 8 seed with Jimmy.
Nobody
Or
gets along.
low seed.
Well, yeah, he got hurt. They would have been higher. They would have been like a 4, debatably a 3 if Jimmy Butler wouldn't got hurt. But I don't know. Nobody gets along in that locker room.
That locker room's a shit show.
He doesn't play defense. He's got all the
No.
tools to be a defensive player, and he's I don't know, for whatever reason, even with Tom Thibodeau, he can't figure it out. But he was the hardest player to rank, and I almost took him completely off, to be honest. But I feel like he's just too talented to keep off like that.
I agree.
The consensus 16 was Jimmy Butler.
Ooh.
It's a little low, I feel like. 15, Klay Thompson for me.
15. Yeah.
Klay Thompson. I feel like we've already said a bunch about Klay Thompson. He's a picture-perfect teammate for
He can do anything.
any team you have. You want your all-star playing next to Klay Thompson.
He should be great for LA next year.
Yeah, with Bronny in LA.
My 15 is Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
I put him at 15. The maturity problem really turns me off.
Is it that though? What is it? He doesn't seem
I
like an
think-
immature dude.
He doesn't.
Because he's involved in the media all the time. Like we see him
And
on
his
screen all the
interviews
time.
are fine, but
and it doesn't seem like he's immature.
behind the scenes shit. You know, like
Like, it's
Jameis
like-
Winston is really good on interviews, and then he does stuff behind the scenes that you don't see. Karl Anthony Towns could easily be, and maybe not to that extreme where he's getting suspended for shit, but Karl Anthony Towns, his stats are insane, and his maturity problem could be the reason that he's not good on defense. Maybe he just wants to half-ass it, you know?
Yeah, maybe
Maybe he's just so talented. He could be like Andrew Bynum.
Ooh, don't do that.
Maybe not as extreme, but
Don't do that.
to where, hey,
I don't think he's that. I don't think it's maturity though. I don't think
it
that's
might be
it.
a maturity thing.
I don't know.
Because that translates to defense.
It's an I don't know. I can't place
There's
it.
some guys that can't play defense,
'Cause I
and
feel
then
like-
there's Carmelo who can, but he chooses not
Well,
to.
because it could very well be the guys around him. Like Jimmy Butler, he's got problems everywhere.
Yeah.
He made a big deal of that Bulls locker room, and then he comes here and he's like, I'm not absolutely under no circumstances signing an extension. And I also think Andrew Wiggins thinks he's a lot better than he is, and he might be asking for more touches. And Karl Towns is just sitting here like, I'm debatably the best player. Like I'm just trying to hoop, and I don't know. I also think Tom Thibodeau's bad for that team.
Tom Thibodeau's just somebody's going to blow out their
You can't play guys 43 minutes a game. It's
Somebody's
just-
getting D-Rose here soon.
can't do that.
He shot 42% from 3 too. Just a
Karl
quick
Towns?
ad. Karl
Yeah,
Anthony
he's
Towns.
he's awesome.
That's
dude.
insane.
The
Klay
skill-
Thompson shot 44%.
The skill level is top 10, top 5 potential.
He just translates so
He
well
could
to
be,
this NBA.
if he was in the right system, in the right environment, he could be one of the best
Make a
players in the
move,
league.
Pop. Send him to the Spurs.
He was, dude, in the GM survey, you know what that is? They surveyed the GMs every offseason to see what young player they would want to take over their franchise if they could choose any one of them, and it's like anonymous. He was number 1 over Anthony Davis 2 years ago.
Wow.
2 years ago. That's how highly we thought of this guy, and now, I don't know, I guess we pointed out flaws, but I don't know. This guy's got it. He just needs to figure it out.
That's right.
That was your 15?
Yeah.
Klay Thompson was mine. The 15 was DeMarcus Cousins for the consensus list.
Really?
Yeah.
Pretty high.
I feel like, yeah, I think it is. I think it is
He
high.
made a lot of people's like top 10.
But it also could be low.
Also,
Does that make sense?
you guys aren't right, but you're not wrong.
Does that make, I don't know. He's the best center in the league when he's healthy, or
True.
debatably. 14, who you got?
I picked Ben. Good old
Ben
Ben
Simmons.
Simmons. I put him at 14. Doesn't have a jump shot at all. And the 1 point a game thing, huge problems. There's a lot of problems with him.
And by the way, we didn't address that earlier. 1 point a game against debatably the best coach in the league.
Yeah.
Do we have to keep saying that? Brad Stevens is the best coach in the league. Let's just call it how it is.
He didn't win Coach of the Year.
Shut up, Joe.
How many times has Greg Popovich won
How many
Coach of
times
the
have
Year?
you won Coach of the Year, Joe? Shut up.
In my fantasy football league twice.
Go ahead. And it's just a rookie thing.
Yeah.
He'll figure it out.
Think about players that don't have a 3-point shot. I mean, he's got a good mid-range jump shot. It's not bad.
He don't shoot jumpers much. I don't think he has to.
He just has to get comfortable with it. He was good at shooting
He can
mid-rangers in
score
college.
20. He can score 18 to 20 a game and not shoot a three.
Yeah.
And I think that is insanely valuable.
Like, we consider Giannis Antetokounmpo a top 5 player in the league, don't we?
He's an
we
alien.
consider DeMar DeRozan a very good player. A lot of these guys don't have jump shots.
Yeah.
Or learned them over time.
Uh-huh.
All right. I need yours.
My 14, I had Dame Lillard.
Oh, man. You got him low.
Oh, man, I don't know.
You got him low.
I don't know. I think I got him just right. First team All-NBA this year. I think he's awesome.
First team.
First team. Well, if Steph Curry wouldn't have got hurt, he would have been second. But
First team.
Dame Lillard, first team All-NBA. He had the best year of his career this year. But once again, flopped out of the playoffs, got swept out.
He did.
And that's what kind of irks me about him.
He doesn't have a team.
And he does not play defense. He's
6 foot tall.
He plays like LaMelo Ball level defense. Like he's literally just standing there. Like he's like low key worse than James Harden.
His team's atrocious.
I feel like we don't expose him enough on social media as NBA Twitter. He's horrible on defense. But he's going to put in 25 to 30 a game with ease. He's a volume 3-point shooter. He's clutch. We've seen he won a series on the 3-point shot a couple years ago before LaMarcus Aldridge left. He hit a 3 and won a series. That's crazy. So I got him at 14. You say I have him low. I think I nailed that one.
Just wait.
I think I nailed that
We'll
one.
get to it, and I'll go off on Caleb over here.
All right, 14. Consensus 14 was Paul George.
Man,
2 spots above Jimmy Butler.
I'm
carbon
honestly
copy.
fine with that.
I kind of like the consensus list. The consensus list looked a lot like mine, and I did mine before.
Oh, there you go. That's why you like the consistency.
No.
I think the consensus list is full of a bunch of idiots.
I did mine before the consensus. The consensus took a little bit longer to figure out how we were going to do that, but I don't know. I don't mind it. We'll run it down at the end, but
Okay.
All right. So 13. I'll lead this one off. I had Chris Paul.
Ooh.
I feel like we forgot how good Chris Paul is.
We did.
Until he got hurt. And that's kind of scary, too, where he's like 32 years old and he just got hurt. But it was
Really
once upon a
scary.
time where it was who's the best point guard in the league, Chris Paul or Darren Williams. And that's not that long ago. And I think
Look what
Him-
Darren Williams is now.
yeah, I feel like him and James Harden, they were one game away from possibly winning the finals, or going to the finals with a chance to win. Then they would have beat Cleveland. But we just forget how good he is. And I think it's because he's a frustrating teammate. He's a frustrating guy to play with. One of the best facilitators in the game. It's just hard to find weaknesses in Chris Paul's game. He's a great defender. He's going to foul you 87 times a game because the ref's not going to call it.
True.
He's going to pour it
that's a
in.
size thing, yeah.
He shot great from 3 last year. He wasn't like a crazy 3-point shooter, but he's on the Rockets now, so you got to fix that. Chris Paul 13. I think I might have had him low, to be honest, but
My 13 was Joel Embiid. I had Joel Embiid all the way at 13. I just don't understand.
some people didn't even rank him.
And I don't blame them. I don't. Just because somebody's popular doesn't mean they have to be that far up. He's a 20 and 8 guy right now. He has amazing potential. I think 13 is perfect. He has all the tools. He has great footwork. He just needs to establish himself a little more. And this was his first real season where he was healthy. So I think that's
And he didn't even play 60 games.
no. And we're considering a healthy
Yeah.
season. He's a great defender. He finished second in defensive player of the year behind Gobert.
Mm-hmm.
And he has offense with it. He has a 3-point shot. But can we just calm down with Joel Embiid? People are putting him top 5 in the NBA. They love
know,
Joel
man.
Embiid. I mean, he's a Twitter. I get it. He's a popular guy, but
He's the best center in the league.
okay.
He's not?
No.
Who's better?
I put Cat above him. Neither one of them have accomplished anything, and Cat's putting up 25 and 13.
Well, Joel Embiid was the best player on a team that went pretty far in the playoffs.
Okay.
Cat was a best player, or not even the best player on a team that got swept out. Well, I guess they won one game, but
I put Joel Embiid at 13.
all right. Karl Anthony Towns was consensus 13. I'll get to Joel Embiid when I come
Okay.
up on him on my list.
On number 2.
You want to rip your 12?
My 12 was Chris Paul. I
Okay.
thought we
We had him
covered a lot
pretty
about
close.
Chris Paul. I like that he's really good at defense even though he's small. He's
Well, yeah.
usually near the top in steals. Like he tries.
Yeah, it's why, because he
tries.
just fouls the shit out of everybody.
But he tries.
And the ref can't call every single
Well,
one, or else he'd
Damian
fall
Lillard
out of every
doesn't try
game.
that well.
You're right. I'm not discounting it at all.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
But yeah, we can go with your 12.
Jimmy Butler. Here we go with the Jimmy Butler, Paul George. He's everything you want in an NBA player, man. That's not a superstar.
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, except
Head
the
case.
attitude.
Yeah, okay.
Minus the attitude. He's going to pour in the points. He's going to score at every level. He's going to handle the ball for you when you need it. He's going to defend your best player. He's everything you want, man. I'm a big Jimmy Butler guy, and I think he could be, if you get him in the right situation, they could contend. Once again, he can't be the best player on your team because you won't win a championship, but I think he could be,
Big piece.
yeah, huge piece. 12. The consensus 12 is Chris Paul. So, I mean,
I was right.
Right there with us. Right there with us. I had Paul George at 11. PG-13 at 11. The carbon copies I had right next to each other. I would take Paul George over Jimmy Butler because he's a better shooter.
He is.
And
A
I
lot
think that's
better
it.
shooter.
I think that's it. That's the only
both
thing I
great
can
on
hold under
defense.
him. Yeah,
Both
they're
great on
both all
defense.
NBA defensive players. They're both going to guard your best player. They're both awesome teammates. You know, it's hard to say bad stuff about Paul George, but you found a way, I guess.
I did find a way.
You found a
I
way.
found a very
You
well
think-
way to, yeah.
I don't think he made the greatest decision in the world by going to OKC. I think that was kind of dumb and not going to play with LeBron. But it doesn't take away from his skill on the court. Does it?
No, but what's his value to a team?
I mean, for the Thunder,
2
it's
games?
good. It's good.
2 games?
No, that's
Russell
not
West-
his fault, bro. That's our favorite player, Russell Westbrook's fault.
Okay.
He's got to
I guess
figure out
we'll
how to
see.
play with those
I
guys.
guess
He's
we'll
got to
see.
figure it out. Consensus 11 was Dame Lillard. Where do you... So you got him higher. Is he coming up?
At Lillard at 11?
Yeah.
I didn't even get to say my 11.
Well, that's what we just did. Oh,
No,
okay.
wait.
Say your 11 then.
My 11 was Kawhi.
Oh my
I put
goodness.
Kawhi all the way up at.
Oh my goodness.
I put him at 11. 2 years ago, he was a 25 a game guy, and we were considering him and Iguodala as the best guarding forwards in the league.
He still is, I think.
Maybe. You never know with the injury. I think he's going to be good in Toronto because he's going to contract year. He's going to have to play. He's not going to go out there and shit the bed, so he doesn't get a contract or he doesn't even get to go to the team he wants. Well, he's going to be a free agent, so he's going to be going off. The injury is such a big deal, and the attitude is a big deal now too. But like we said, he's got high value.
I think Kawhi he's very high on my list. I'll just say that right now.
Which,
And,
he was an MVP candidate up until last season.
he's widely considered as a top 3 player in the league when he's healthy.
When he's healthy. If he
think
would have
he's-
had a healthy year, I would have easily put him
I actually
top
think he's
5.
going to like it in Toronto. Will he go back to Toronto?
He might pull Paul
in
George.
my opinion, I don't think so. I don't think there's much keeping him there.
Toronto sucks.
Kyle Lowry. No, Toronto's a good
Justin
city.
Bieber.
Toronto's a good city. Like, it's just super cold, and he wants to
really
be in LA, and there's really nobody. Like, Kyle Lowry's not keeping Kawhi Leonard in Toronto. He's just not.
Kyle
And
Lowry's
I think-
definitely not even.
I think they're going to be pretty good. If he plays, like, people say he might sit out. I don't know how much truth there is to that,
He
but
won't do that.
if he plays, they could win 50. We'll see what happens. So 11, consensus, I already said Dame Lillard.